almost there. Okay. Chief's there. At 8:42, Friday, July 2nd, let's go ahead and welcome Chief of Police Steve Ignacio onto the link. Good morning, Chief. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Chief.
Yes, good.
Hi, Chief. Morning.
Unmute.
Unmute.
There you go. Half a day.
Good morning.
Morning.
Man, you're always so busy.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
not always a good kind of busy though.
Right.
Yep.
Right. We were kind of talking, Chief, before you came on about, and I don't know again if it's because the social media and there's more frequent reporting and just more coverage, but it kind of seems like Guam police officers have had to respond to more incidents with lethal force. And I know that Prosecutor Basil Amalin talked yesterday about the importance of complying with law enforcement orders, but we just wanted to kind of get your takeaway on that. Is there an escalation? And is it just general or is it case by case?
Yeah, Chris, it's still, dealt with on a case-by-case basis, and, even any investigation. So let's back up a little. So when an officer discharges their firearm, depending upon the circumstances of the discharge of the firearm, you may have to conduct two investigations. One would be the criminal investigation, like an officer-involved shooting where another person is shot and injured, or shot and fatally dies from the gunshot wound. And then there's incidents where officers discharge their firearms in a setting outside of that, like an accidental discharge of a firearm. We handle firearms all the time. There are times where the officers would need to clear their firearms, and sometimes the clearing of the firearms is not done in a safe manner, and there's a discharge of a firearm at a precinct, at an office, things like that do occur. So in an officer-involved shooting where somebody's they shoot at someone, there's a administrative and a criminal investigation, most especially if somebody gets injured. In an officer discharge of a firearm, an accidental discharge of a firearm, there's an administrative investigation. Depending again on situation, the chief of police, myself, and other prior chiefs, we look at the circumstances and the facts of the case presented to us maybe immediately after the shooting, and we determine if we need to place an officer on administrative leave, or we just need to do the criminal and administrative investigation. And yes, there have been questions already, about the number of officer-involved shootings. But I think the chief prosecutor kind of alluded to that yesterday and says, if we look back, I haven't looked back at each and every. I mean, I don't have all the details in front of me of each and every shooting that we've been involved with, from 2020 to present. But I think a large majority of these cases, involve sometimes hot pursuits, people refusing to pull over for various reasons. They're driving stolen cars. We're pursuing them because they're, we believe they're suspects in felony investigations, and they just refuse to pull over. They refuse to comply, and they take us on these hot pursuit chases. That go from the central area to the northern area. We've had pursuits starting from as far down as Ag and ending all the way up as far up as Jigo. And so, but the pursuit again is dependent, and the outcome is dependent on the compliance or the non-compliance of the people we're pursuing, who refuse to pull over. And a good majority of the time, when the pursuit ends and the investigation is being conducted, we do find that a lot of it, relates back to ice, methamphetamine. We find evidence of drug activity. Drug paraphernalia. Find actual drugs in the car, cash. Large amounts of cash. So those are the things that we look at when we do our investigations. And so sometimes there is a direct correlation between the officer involved shooting and people being involved in these hot pursuits because of drugs. But like the AG said in our press release yesterday, it's not always that simple. There are different reasons why these things happen, and that's why we treat just like any other investigation. Each case is treated differently because each set of facts and circumstances are different, and we just deal with that incident and those facts and those circumstances which led up to the shooting, and we determine based on our policies, procedures, the rule of law, whether or not these shootings are justified or unjustified, or not justified for that matter.
I wanted to ask you about this press release from the AG's office, because it was something that was written in here that said homicide investigation procedures are being followed in this case. Why homicide investigation procedures as opposed to what, death investigation procedures? Just if you kind of explain that.
Yeah, well, I think it's that's the proper use of that term, the homicide investigation, because if you look at the simplest definition of a homicide is I learned this in homicide school. The simplest definition of a homicide is the human being killing another human being, and that's exactly what happened. We had an off-duty officer shoot and kill another person. And that's the simplest form. And when an officer involved shooting occurs and there's a fatal and somebody dies, there's a fatality. It is a homicide, but we look at it in the context of it's a homicide because an officer discharged his firearm, killed somebody, but then we apply the law of use of force and justifiable use of force, and determine then that either the homicide was justified or not justified and falls into the criminal realm. And so that's what we're doing in this investigation, or at least the AG is doing in this investigation, because it is a homicide. But whether or not it's justified or not, was the officer's actions justified? Whether the facts and circumstances that led up to the officer discharging his firearm and killing another individual justified? That's for the investigative team to determine and present that case to the Attorney General so that they can determine how to move forward.
Chief, are you able to confirm if there was any type of altercation between the off-duty officer and the Vic?
No, Chris. I'm very sorry. Again, because we have this investigative team. It's led by the AG's office. We want to make sure that we're not. It's not that we're not stepping back and just turning over everything to the AGs. We are working, just like the other officer involved shooting. We are working alongside with them. But as a matter of as discussing the case, I would defer anything to the AG's office. And I think, we need, again, it's all in that that spirit of being accountable and transparent, that, we don't make any statements as the Guam Police Department because we are investigating one of our own and they are investigating one of my own. And so I think it's best if statements come from them, so that it removes any, I guess, appearance that, we're not doing a objective investigation.
Do you have an idea how many officer-involved shootings have there been in the past couple of months?
I'm sorry, Bri, I don't have that in front of me. We can definitely we can talk about that another day if you like.
Okay. Do you have anything else on this subject?
All things being said, though, I hope you guys had a chance to come out and visit our youth summer program. It's a big hit with the kids, and come on, Chris, I think they want to play basketball with you.
Oh, him play basketball. I'll come and watch that.
Jason's the tall one. No, I can play a little basketball, man. Not against no kids, though.
No, Chief, they might be dribbling Chris.
Yeah, they're going to be dribbling my
Ow.
stomach.
Yeah, come on out. It'd be Team KOM versus Team Youth Summer Camp, GPD.
Right on.
There you go.
Way to switch gears there, Chief.
I know.
Yeah.
I've
like-
been known to throw elbows in basketball.
Yeah.
And we can't always talk about the sad stuff and
Yeah,
the serious stuff. It's Friday.
It
It's not
is.
payday,
Yeah.
payday, but it's Friday, and
yeah.
we need to. We need to talk about the really the good things that
Yeah.
the officers in the
Yeah.
Long Police Department do. And we're connecting with our youth.
Yeah.
I've been in touch again with some of the other things that have come up. Chris recently is and Bree is the break-ins at the school. We've been in touch with Erica Cruz and the deputy superintendent at DOE, my district commanders, Captain Santos and Captain Castro. I've been in touch directly with Erica Cruz. We've been working with Superintendent John Fernandez, and we're trying to figure out what we can do to keep the campuses safe. It's summertime, less presence at night. Kids. Possibly we believe there are minors involved. Because what's being taken, what's not being taken. What we're finding when we come into these schools after the break-ins. So, we've been working with them. We put together some plans to see what we can do to keep the schools safer, so that they're not vandalized, damaged, broken into, whatever. And a lot going on. Hey, we got 21 new recruits on the road.
Right on. Yeah.
That's something positive to talk about
It
again.
is,
That's great news for the community, most especially. By August, these officers actually now they're out in the street. They're just working alongside a field training officer and FTO. But by August, they satisfactorily complete the OJT, on the job training. They'll be out on their own, as rookie officers working alongside seasoned officers, and they'll be out on the street. And what that does, though, is that it allows us, this is the second, full complement of police officers. So what that does is that it allows us now to move some officers around, most especially to our criminal investigation division. I'm eyeing some movement, of a handful of officers over there, so that we can put more effort into our follow-up investigations. Just like I use social media as a way to keep informed of what's going on in and around our community, and I see the same things you do. The videos of stolen solar lights, people just jumping in and breaking into people's houses, running off with blowers, and these very small crimes, but they affect the community because people don't feel safe if you can't leave your stuff in your garage, or people just jump over your fence. I mean, I've seen the videos. It just amazes me that fences don't keep people out anymore.
There was one even, Chief, where that, I don't know if you saw that one where that car pulled up and then the guy got out and unscrewed the lights or whatever while the car then got back in the car. I mean, there wasn't even a wall there. He just pulled up right in front of the garage. This is maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the ones up in Dededo recently. I think it's Machechi. The dogs were right there. Dogs are barking. It was just jumped right over the fence, and took off with a couple of items. And those are the things, that affect our community, because, again, like I said, when things like that happen, they don't feel safe. And, those are the things that, we like to start addressing. As we speak, we're hiring the next set of police trainings, and it's a small group, but it's, again, like I said, it's a combined law enforcement academy for the first time in many years. We're going to be having an academy with airport police and port police officers. And, it's something that has happened in the past many, many years ago. I remember when I was in the police academy, we had 2 officers from agriculture, the conservation officers. We had 2 of them in our academy, and then 1 from the AG's office, an investigator. And so we haven't had a combined academy in a while, so we're looking forward to that. and that's we have 6 going to that academy. But after that, Chris, we're still working with DOA. We're trying to get an additional supplemental list because we're working on the next academy already, which is the 13th academy. And that's going to be another cohort of about 23 at least minimum. So we're moving on.
Right. Chief, I wanted to ask about, because we talked about this yesterday with Bree, but in this Nicholas Moore case, is the investigation still ongoing?
Yes. So we've been working again on the Nicholas Moore case. There's still, again, because he was, I believe, charged for 2 separate offenses. And so those are actually 2 criminal investigations running concurrently because we're looking at 2 different incidences. One is the attempted murder. One is the attempted murder of the incident up at Ganney Heights. Yeah, and then of course, the murder of Castro. And so we have 2 different investigations involving the same person, but also running concurrently. And so, I wish I could tell you more. I wish I could tell you what we have, but, yeah, it's part of the investigation. As things unfold as we move forward, I think the evidence will become clearer.
Chief, in the magistrates, there was a couple of things we talked about yesterday, which was that it was revealed that you guys used the pinging of the cell phone with the towers, and then also that there was DNA extraction done on a weapon involved in this case. I don't know if I've seen that before, but with this case, was that something, a new technique that you guys were able to employ in this investigation?
Which one, the DNA or the
Both.
cell tower?
Both.
Thing? Both. Well, it's part of the criminal investigation, and I'm telling you, I learned a lot from watching this case unfold with Moore, especially with the cell phone technology. I'm telling you, when I was a homicide detective, and Bree and I were talking about unsolved cases from when I was a detective. There wasn't a lot of cell phone technology that we were using, to solve cases, but we have a very different breed of investigators, Chris. Very technologically savvy, to say the most. I have officers that have been trained by DEA and ATF and Secret Service. These guys are taught how to take apart computers and look at hard drives and take apart iPhones and Samsung phones and pull out those hard drives and just do things that I can't imagine. I can't see myself doing. As far as the DNA, that's really glad you talked about that, because that's the kind of stuff that we don't want to rely on anymore to go off island to do. But kudos to the Naval Criminal Investigative Services, their forensic lab. They've been a big part of our investigation, and they've been conducting the DNA analysis that have led us to determine the presence of certain DNA of certain people involved in this case. But that's good for us, because their forensic team, their DNA team, has been working with my criminalists here at the Guam Police Department Crime Lab, which is good because they're gaining experience learning how this DNA technology and forensic science is being used to solve cases. Because we have our DNA lab that's set to be completed by October. Thanks to Dr. Mary Okada and her team. Our DNA lab building is on track to be completed by October. I believe I've talked about this already. The governor, lieutenant governor, their commitment to the Guam Police. They provided me close to $1 million, and I've been working closely with Mr. Lester Carlson from BBMR and his team to get that money into the hands of the Guam Police and the Guam Community College. And so we're ready to outfit that building so that it has the latest DNA equipment. And so, as we move further along, where we get to get one, not hopefully, but one day we'll have the capability to do DNA analysis on our island, and that's a big plus.
Yeah, that DNA capability. You're talking about adding this to what you guys already have in place at the forensic lab over at GCC. Is that?
I'm sorry, what was that ring in here?
The DNA capability. Is this something that you guys are adding on to be located in the current forensic lab that GPD has over there by GCC, or it's a separate facility?
We are getting a whole brand new building.
Oh wow!
It's actually right up there next to the current forensic science division, up at the crime lab in Manila. Right next door to it, to the left when you're facing the building, is the brand new building, and it's a combination building. Part of it, I think, the front part of it are classrooms, and the back part of it, it's the DNA lab. So it's, I believe it's called a teaching facility, along with not just the forensic science building, but DNA lab, but it's a teaching facility as well. So, you know, I think the concept is the front of it is the students that are interested in forensic science, and, you know, we incorporate that program into the DNA and the crime scene the studies, and then, you know, they're right there next to each other.
Chief,
I'm sorry. Is this the ground's already been broken or on this new facility?
Yeah. We had a groundbreaking. I think sometime in 2019, or right before COVID. COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, right
I
haven't. We did groundbreaking.
haven't been up there.
But, yeah, we're on track to finish October. Is the date I'm tracking.
Chief, going back to the DNA extraction that was done by NCIS, how did that happen? Was it relative to the property that the evidence was discovered on, or do you guys just kind of maintain a conversation with NCIS and said, hey, we got this, can you help us out? And is this the first case that they've assisted on?
No, Chris. As a matter of fact, I have personal experience working with NCIS. Many years ago, we had a homicide of a Navy female sailor who was found killed at the old Pedro's Ice Plant in Antigua. And because she was a Navy sailor, I worked alongside with NCIS along with some other detectives. And, you know, we found out, you know, that she was the girlfriend of another Navy sailor. And so I was one of the lead investigators. I actually was assigned to interrogate her boyfriend, who was a Navy sailor. I worked on the Frank Cable. As a matter of fact, that's the ship he worked on. And so we worked alongside with Navy Criminal Investigation Services. I was there with Special Agent Tim Quick. We did the interrogation, got an admission of the crime, and we made an arrest. So it's not the first time, you know, that we've worked alongside NCIS. It's not, we've worked with OSI. So, you know, we have partnerships with the federal government. Yeah, so there's many different instances where, you know, the Navy may have some interest in a case, and we work with them.
But you're not able to say what the interest they had in this particular cases?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah,
okay.
I just wanted to follow up on that magistrate's complaint, because there was a lot of details with regard to the Michael Castro case and the murder charges. But in the details, when you read it, it kind of sounds like, you know, people knew, you know, information. And I don't know if that's where the SOIs come in or what have you, but also just you would think that there would be more people arrested, is whether they were accomplices or what have you. So should we anticipate, I mean, when are we going to see any additional arrests with this case?
Again, you know, it's a very active investigation. I think, you know, I think people get the perception that we made an arrest and, you know, that's it, we're done and we're ready to go to trial. But nothing could be further from the truth of that statement, because, you know, when you make an arrest, you know, that's actually the beginning of the next phase of an investigation. And so yeah, this case, as you can see, it's been ongoing for over 8 months. And we go where the evidence leads us. We go where the statements take us. When people make statements, we gather evidence. It just continues to lead us. To determine if there's others involved, or have we made all the arrests that possible that need to be made, or where's this going to lead us, right? So, as you can see, like with this case with Nicholas Moore, we were working on the disappearance of Michael Castro, right? And then you see that it led to another case. Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean about following the evidence and following the statements. We were working on this one case, and it led to another case. And so, that's the kind of stuff that we do, and unfortunately we don't talk about, because we don't want to create a situation where we're going to lose evidence because people find out that we're onto them, and they start to remove evidence, or go into hiding and don't want to make statements to the police anymore, or the investigators. And so this is a really good case of one case leading to another, and we see the involvement of this person in at least 2 cases so far.
It also looks like it could lead to more cases. I mean, drug-related cases.
Yeah, and like I said, it's ongoing, so we don't know, where the evidence is going to lead us.
Chief, let me just ask, since the investigation's ongoing, I was just wondering about with the prosecution of Mr. Moore. If the investigation's still ongoing, are we confident that we're going to be able to bring a good case against Mr. Moore?
It's not, Chris, it's not whether we're confident we have a good case. This is the case that we have, and we presented the best we can. And actually, it's the prosecutor now that we've been working with, the prosecution division. We give them the evidence. We've been working alongside with them just as well. The Attorney General's office, the prosecution division. We've been very engaged with them over the past couple of months that we've been after things have started to unfold. So we've been engaged with them with this case, and they know the case well too, just as much as we do. And we leave it to them now to present the best case that the government has against Mr. Nicholas Moore come time for trial.
Okay. On a different note, I was wondering if you had any updates on the hiring of a executive director for the Post Commission. Is that still?
I don't know. Like I said, at the last Post Commission, we did announce that the interested applicants can start turning in their resumes to the Post Commission office. Ms. Berta Guerrero is a good point of contact. And our next meeting is next Friday. And at that point, I guess we'll find out who the interested applicants are. And we'll find out from the chair, the new chair, the new vice chair, and the executive director, how they want to proceed, whether they're going to find members within the commission to be the review and selection interview committee. And then we present, that committee presents its findings to the commission as to who the best candidate is. Or we're just as a whole, as a commission, just going to review all the applicants. And at some point, we're going to have to vote because the post-commission law requires that the commission members, the voting members, vote their executive director.
All right.
Thanks, Chief.
Chief, appreciate you coming on, and we understand that there's really not much you could say about the officer-involved shooting. So.
Yeah, I would reach out to the AG's office if they're willing to provide any additional information.
But good luck with your interns. How many did you get?
The DYA Summer Youth Program?
Yeah.
The interns? I got 14.
Nice.
Yeah, we're keeping them busy. But bunch of really good kids. I had a chance to meet with them and talk to them. Very interesting.
What are they doing? Are they kind of split up with the different divisions, or are they all working as a group?
Yeah, so I got I think 3 or 4 over the record section. They're kind of helping with filing. Most of them are helping with payroll, personnel matters. Just doing mostly clerical work. There is one person in our maintenance section, our fleet maintenance.
Oh, wow.
So he's out there with the mechanics. So,
Nice.
Good bunch of kids. Like I said, I had a chance to talk to them.
There you go. Make them organize those files, Chief. That's what I did when I was a summer intern.
Okay, Chris, I'm waiting for you to come out. Team KOM versus Team GPD Summer Youth Program.
Let's go. I'm
Yeah.
down. Jay, you down?
Oh, yeah.
Softball. We have softball, basketball, soccer, a whole bunch of stuff.
No,
All right.
no chess though, right?
No, you know what? Real quick, and Chief, correct me if I'm wrong.
We're very competitive over
but
here.
Yeah.
actually, there's a lot of states across the country. They actually have like volunteer police leagues where they coach kids, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so actually, one of the things we're doing with our Safe Schools Initiative funding is we're buying more sports equipment, softball, soccer, things like basketball.
Right.
And we're actually already starting. The wheels are in motion. Starting to think about forming a police team, so that we can compete in like the youth softball or youth
Very
baseball
cool.
team.
Nice.
Well, yeah. The only reason I brought it up is because Chief, like our next guest, Pat Lujan, probably knows this better than anybody. But Chris Webber is now in the Hall of Fame for basketball, and the first people he actually thanked when they congratulated him was the when he grew up in Detroit, was the volunteer police league that he played in. He said a lot of cops shaped him and volunteered their time and coached him when he was like in the 6th grade.
No, yeah, Jason, you're right. I was telling my experience when I grew up. I was playing baseball for the Maritzo team, and my coaches were both police officers.
Right.
Very
And
cool.
yeah, the southern teams, we're all coached by police officers. Yeah, and that's really the stuff that I'm chasing. Trying to get that getting off the ground. Just take small steps to put it back in place.
Because it's working with the youth, right? And I know Sergeant Tapal with the kickball before the COVID. You guys were doing so many outreach with the youth of the various communities, right? And so it's very important to stand these efforts up again, Chief, right? To get to the kids while they're young.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris, man. If there's anything that we can do to keep kids off the streets and keep them off drugs, especially ice, we can keep these kids off of drugs, because they'll be the next generation of drug users. But if we can get in there and convince them, and give them good positive skills, to stay off of drugs and alcohol, I think we've done a good job. And even if we can change the life of just one kid, we've done a tremendous job for that kid, but for our community as well.
There you go. Each one, teach one.
Yep.
Thank you, Chief.
Great.
Thanks, Chief.
Hey,
Chief.
take care.
Right
Thanks, Bree.
on.
Thanks, Chris.
Have a good weekend.
Take care, Jason.
Okay.
Okay, you too.
There you go. Chief Stephen Ignacio, yeah.
Because I hope we don't talk to you over the
Yeah.
weekend.
Good talk. Yeah, but I get it. I mean, he wanted to kind of pivot into some more positive discussion because they can't really, say anything at all. He's right. It's GPD and the AG investigating a off-duty police officer. So even the most basic information of the case, they're not able to reveal. Thank you. It's not COVID, guys. It's all right. It's this. I think I had an empanada bit in my mask.
Ouch.
Let's go to the KUM News Zoom room where the State Historic Preservation